I remember growing up in a world that tried to define me before I even had the chance to define myself. A world that set limits, told me what I could or couldn't do, where I belonged and where I didn't. But here's the thing. I refused to listen because I knew deep inside that my worth was not determined by my gender, my background, or the expectations placed on me. My worth was determined by me. Every woman at some point in her life has been told that she is not enough, not strong enough, not smart enough, not capable enough. But let me tell you something, you are more than enough. You are powerful, you are limitless. And it is time the world recognizes that. But first, you must recognize it within yourself. You don't need permission to dream big. Growing up, many of us are taught to play by the rules, to fit into the expectations set for us. As women, we are often told what we can and cannot do, what is appropriate for us, and what dreams are too big for someone like us. But here's the truth. You don't need permission to dream big. You don't need validation from society, your family, or anyone else to go after what sets your soul on fire. I have seen firsthand how girls are encouraged to shrink themselves, to be less outspoken, to take a step back instead of stepping forward. But why? Why should we limit ourselves when we are just as capable, just as talented, just as deserving of success? The world will try to convince you that your dreams are too ambitious, too unrealistic, too much. Ignore that noise. The only permission you need is the one you give yourself. Success doesn't come to those who wait for approval. It comes to those who dare to believe in themselves even when no one else does. It comes to those who are willing to work hard, take risks, and push beyond their comfort zones. If you want something, go for it. If your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough. Think about the women who changed history, those who fought for their rights, who refused to accept the limitations placed on them. Do you think they waited for someone to tell them it was okay to be bold? No. They stepped up, they faced criticism, they faced rejection, but they kept going because they believed in their dreams. And here's the best part. When you dare to dream big, you don't just change your life, you inspire others to do the same. You become an example for the young girls watching, the women who need a reminder that they too can break barriers. So don't ask for permission, take up space, speak up. Chase your dreams with everything you have. The world will adjust. Break the chains of expectations. From the moment we are born, society begins shaping expectations for us. We are told how to behave, how to dress, what career paths are suitable for us. We are handed a script and expected to follow it without question. But let me tell you something. You don't have to play the role they've written for you. I grew up in a culture where gender roles were deeply ingrained. Girls were expected to be soft-spoken, obedient, and content with the choices others made for them. But I refuse to accept that as my reality. And if you feel the weight of expectations pulling you down, you must refuse to. Because the moment you break free from those invisible chains, you reclaim your power. Breaking expectations doesn't mean disrespecting tradition or turning your back on your roots. It means creating a life that aligns with who you truly are, not what others believe you should be. It means choosing your dreams over their doubts, your voice over their silence, and your ambition over their limitations. Here's the truth, people will always have something to say. If you follow the rules, they'll say you're not ambitious enough. If you break them, they'll call you rebellious. So why not do what makes you happy? Why not follow your own path? You are not here to fit in. You are here to stand out. The world doesn't change when we conform. It changes when we challenge, when we innovate, when we refuse to accept things just because that's how it has always been. If every woman before us had followed the rules, we wouldn't have the rights and opportunities we do today. And if we stop pushing forward, the next generation won't have what they deserve. So stand tall, make bold choices, disrupt the status quo. The world will try to box you in, but only you can decide whether you stay in that box or break out of it. Live life on your terms, because the only expectations that truly matter are the ones you set for yourself. Breaking stereotypes starts with you. For generations, women have been put into boxes, told who they should be, how they should act, and what dreams are acceptable for them. I grew up in a world where those expectations were loud and clear. Women were expected to be quiet, to be modest, to shrink themselves so they wouldn't intimidate anyone. But let me tell you something. You don't owe the world your silence. You owe it your strength. The moment you start challenging the labels put on you, you begin rewriting the rules. The moment you stop asking for permission to be great, you take back your power. People will tell you, that's not what women do. But history has shown us that women who refuse to listen to those voices change the world. Here's the truth, change is uncomfortable. It makes people uneasy because it challenges the way things have always been. When you decide to step out of the role society has assigned to you, you will face resistance. People will question you, they will doubt you, and some will even try to stop you. Keep going anyway, because every time you push forward, you are making space for the next generation of girls to dream without limits. You don't need to fit into anyone's mold. You are allowed to dream big. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to be powerful. You're allowed to rewrite the story, because when you do, you're not just changing your own life, you're changing the world for every girl who comes after you. So don't be afraid to break the stereotypes. Be the reason they no longer exist. Education is your greatest weapon. One of the most powerful tools a woman can have is education. Not just formal schooling, but the ability to think critically, to ask questions, to seek knowledge, and to never stop learning. When I was growing up, I saw how education was often seen as optional for girls, something nice to have, but not necessary. The focus was always on preparing them for marriage, for family, for responsibilities that served others before themselves. But let me tell you, an educated woman is unstoppable. When you invest in your education, you are investing in your future. You are giving yourself choices. You are giving yourself the power to say, I will decide what happens in my life. No one can take away what you know. No one can silence a mind that is filled with ideas, knowledge, and vision. And let me be clear, education is not just about books and degrees. It's about understanding the world around you. It's about knowing your worth, recognizing opportunities, and having the confidence to step into spaces where people say you don't belong. It's about building a future where you define success on your own terms. People may try to tell you that your dreams are too ambitious, that your goals are unrealistic, that you should focus on things more suited for a woman. Ignore them. You have the right to chase every dream you have, and the best way to do that is by arming yourself with knowledge, with skills, with experience. Because when you know better, you do better. So never stop learning, never stop growing, never let anyone convince you that you are not worth investing in, because the more you know, the more power you hold. And the world needs powerful women. Be the change, break the cycle. Change does not happen overnight, and it does not happen by waiting for permission. If you want to see a different world, one where women are treated as equals, where they are given the same opportunities, where their voices are heard and respected, you have to be the change. You have to break the cycle. For generations, inequality has been passed down like tradition. Girls are told to stay quiet, to lower their ambitions, to adjust, to compromise. But you are not here to fit into the expectations that society has built for you. You are here to create your own path, to stand tall, and to demand the life you deserve. Change begins with the choices you make every day. It begins when you refuse to settle for less than you are worth. It begins when you speak up, even when it is uncomfortable, when you fight for your dreams, even when the world doubts you. It begins when you say, I will not be defined by limitations that were never mine to begin with. And most importantly, change begins when you lift others as you rise. Because the fight for equality is not just about one woman making it to the top, it's about making sure every woman has the chance to get there too. Be the example, be the inspiration, show the world that a woman's place is wherever she decides to be. So don't wait for change, become it. The future is shaped by the bold, by the fearless, by those who refuse to accept things as they are. And that future needs you.